What's up, YouTube? This is Yusuf Talks. Welcome back. So, today we're going to be talking about the Israel Palestine conflict. And this is some touchy subject. I realize that it might offend some people, but I started this channel. I don't know if I'm going to get followers. So, I just want to give my thoughts on this. So, here we go. So, October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel. They came across the border. They attacked civilians at a concert. They took hostages. It was a brutal situation. Allegedly, I don't know if this is true or not. This is what I've heard. They beheaded babies. They lit people on fire. It was a horrible situation. My heart goes out to the innocent Israeli people who passed away. But all of that said, Israel's led by Benjamin Netanyahu, who is right wing extremist. He is pretty much an Israeli supremacist, and they believe the land is theirs. So I want to just kind of go over the conflict. So, back in 1947, Israel was given that land by the UN. Originally, Palestine belonged to the British. It was British Mandate Palestine. And the Palestinian Arabs lived there for hundreds of years. There's Palestinian Muslims, Palestinian Christians, Palestinian Jews. I know the media wants to make it Muslims versus Jews, um, but it's not really that. It's more of a land dispute. It's right wing extremism, Netanyahu's side, and Israel's being run by right wing extremists. So, what caused this conflict? When the current state of Israel was given the land, they committed what was called the Nakba, or it was went on to be known as the Nakba, where many Palestinians were killed. They were forcibly removed. They were put into open air prisons. Whole villages were destroyed. Schools, mosques, churches, they were killed. So Israel could have the land. And the Palestinians were forced into an open air prison. And when you look at what South Africa is saying, South Africa, the apartheid state, well, former apartheid state, is calling Israel out for this apartheid. The Palestinian people, any minute, Israel can cut off their water, can cut off their electricity. For generations, they've lived like this since the late 1940s. Had their land stolen, their homes, their lives. There's brutal checkpoints there. They're not. Let's just put it like this, okay? They don't have a lot of economic opportunity, if even any. So this is why the anger was building up. And Palestine, Gaza, and the West Bank, Palestine is what they want a Palestinian state, but it's currently the West Bank and Gaza. They don't have a military. And Hamas, which is an evil terrorist group, that's all they have. Whether some of their members join because maybe they want to be like a resistance group, like a freedom fighter group, or some are just outright terrorists, kill innocent Israeli civilians. But here's the thing I'm questioning. Israel has the most advanced intelligence agency in the world. They they have the Iron Dome to stop missile attacks. You're telling me that they didn't see Hamas coming across their border? It's not a big border. It's not like the Me- uh, Mexico and Texas border, which just spreads for miles, right? It's a small strip of land. Israel has one of the most advanced militaries in the world. They didn't see Hamas coming. It's very likely that Netanyahu knew that Hamas was coming, and he wanted to use this, sacrificing his own civilians, in order to launch a full scale invasion on Gaza and the West Bank. Now, Israel's responding by bombing churches, mosques, schools, hospitals. They claim it's to wipe out Hamas. But the thing is, majority of the people they're hitting are civilians. They're destroying infrastructure, they're killing children. And if you call this what it is ethnic cleansing and genociding out, then you're labeled anti Semitic. There's nothing anti Semitic about condemning what state of Israel is doing. There's a lot of great Jewish people in Israel who don't agree with what their government's doing. They're being arrested, they're thrown in jail. When they're young, they're forced to serve the IDF. It's not all Jewish people. So this is where it becomes much more difficult because you have the Palestinians who live there for generations. They're forced into the slums, right? And you have Israeli people who've lived there now for generations, and younger people, the younger generation who had nothing to do with the Nakba, they're suffering for what the Israeli government did when innocent Israelis were killed. So how do you solve this situation when two parties both want that land? When two parties both claim the land, and what's going to happen to the innocent people on both sides? They're going to suffer. But here's the thing: if if Israel claims that Hamas are the bad guys, which they are, absolutely. If they claim that they want to wipe out Hamas, which Hamas is a terrorist group, they should be wiped out. Why are they targeting so many civilians? You see, to Netanyahu, it's not about wiping out Hamas. It's about wiping out the Palestinian people, getting rid of them. You see, to Netanyahu, they're an infestation. They need to be wiped out. So, unfortunately, the U.S. is involved in this. The Israeli lobby, the APAC, they donate to candidates on both sides, Republicans and Democrats. You have Joe Biden, who takes money from them, Donald Trump, who takes money from them. And this genocide, this ethnic cleansing, is being funded by Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who calls out right wing extremism here in the US, which he should, but he doesn't call out right wing extremism when it's Israel. He has no problem condemning the Proud Boys, neo Nazis. What about what Netanyahu's doing? What about the genocide he's doing? The ethnic cleansing. And you see, Israel is the last colonial project. Netanyahu is recruiting Jews from all over the world to come and fight for the IDF. There's radicalized Jews in New York, for example, who to who went to Palestine, took land, took homes, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, we saw a video of a Jewish man born and raised in New York, never stepped foot in the Middle East, right? Obviously of European descent. He goes down there, he takes someone's home, he's on recording, he's on video. He says, if I don't take their land, someone else will. That's the mindset with Netanyahu. Wants to wipe out the Palestinian people. And for anyone who says Palestine are the oppressors, tell me which people group has more power? The one who's able to cut off the other group's electricity and water, or the one that has to live without water, electricity, hospitals, schools? You see, even if Netanyahu decides, forget about Palestine, right, and quits bombing them, there's a whole next generation of children that are gone, killed. And a lot of them, the ones who aren't killed, are disabled. Palestinian intellectuals are killed because, their universities are destroyed. And Joe Biden is worried about the college campuses here in the US being crowded by protesters. Donald Trump is worried about the college campuses here being swarmed by protesters. If you're so worried about education, condemn what Netanyahu and Israel's doing. They're blowing up the only universities in Palestine. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.